Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the channel. My name is DaRealLegend, and we are back with some NBA 2K Mobile. So we're going to be checking out the new theme. I'll give you my first impressions about these players, and we'll be following up with more content later in the week as well. So definitely subscribe, turn on those notifications to be tuned in, and definitely slap a like on the video. We need those to grow. So appreciate all the support. Let's get into this video. So we'll head right into the collection. So we got the historic greats, which I think is pretty cool, that the artwork has kind of like a 80s theme / graffiti old school look. I'm digging it. Theme is kicking off with 4 gold players. The first one is DaRealLegend, which looking at the stats, I think that's a mistake. I don't think his power is 272. It might be like 722, right? I'm sure they'll fix that at some point. But DaRealLegend has decent stats. I remember him from last season. He was in the 6-man theme. You can take a look at it. He's got a 5 in shoot-off dribble and a 5 in mid-range shooting and 3-point shot. Those are pretty good and important for a small forward. And his defending and playmaking isn't that bad either. Then we got Hersey Hawkins, who was in last year's theme and the Rainmakers theme. He can be crafted too, right? DaRealLegend needs 2 collectibles. Hersey needs 1 along with the gold rings. Hersey is another player who was pretty decent, right? Shoot-off dribble was good, mid-range shot, 3-point shot. And the defending and playmaking and agility complemented it pretty well. Then we got Larry Johnson, Grandmama. Now this is a nice surprise. So Larry Johnson is a Knicks legend. And mainly because of one shot. He had the 4-point play that was so clutch. It was an N1 3-pointer if you don't know what a 4-point play is. And he was a decent stretch big back in the day with a ton of explosiveness in his early career. Now being that this is the throwback Larry Johnson for the Charlotte Hornets, I would argue that his layups and dunks should be like a 5 or a 6. Because he was just a monster. He was dunking on everybody. But overall, his stats seem like they're pretty good, right? I see his mid-range is a 5, which is pretty accurate. 3-point shot is a 4 as well. I haven't done the stat average. Larry Johnson looks like he has very good overall stats. Then we got Manu Bol, who was head-to-head cheese back in Season 2. Everybody was using Manu Bol in the beginning when that Intimidators theme came out. Because the dude is one of the tallest players in NBA history. And he was just blocking everyone's shots. And you can see he has a 5 in defending and a 5 in rebounding with a 5 in post scoring, which made him a nice putback king. He was pretty good with getting those easy wide open dunks on the pick and roll. Manu Bol wasn't that bad. Then we got Jeff Hornacek. This is a good shooter as well. 5 in mid-range, 5 in 3-point shot with a 5 in shoot-off dribble. He can be crafted. Then we got George Gervin. The Iceman is in the game. That's pretty sick. He's got an emerald rarity. Looking at his stats, they did right by Iceman by giving him a 5 in layups and dunks. We can argue you could get a 6, right? The dude created the finger roll. Got a 5 in mid-range shooting, a 5 in agility. I'm pretty excited. This is cool. Then we got Mark Jackson. He's already in the game as a Ruby. He's actually one of the top Rubies to craft. So if you didn't check out my crafting video, I go over all the best players to craft, so check that out. He can be crafted. He has decent stats overall. And they brought him back as a Knick as well, so that's pretty cool. He's got a 5 in mid-range shooting, a 5 in 3-point shot, 5 in shoot-off dribble, 5 in agility, and 5 in playmaking. So those are all good stats for point guard. Then we got Yao Ming. Yao Ming, who was also another great player to use in head-to-head. 5 in strength, 5 in rebounding, 5 in mid-range shooting. These are pretty good stats for Yao Ming. He also got a 5 in post scoring. So like Manu Bol, really good to use on the pick and roll. Great on putbacks. This is a good card to have. Now, most of the players in the team have clutch theme ability, which gives them an extra bonus to the power on a certain day of the week. Yao Ming has dual, which means there's another rocket in his theme. So I'll definitely point that out when we get up to it. Then we got Grant Hill. Grant Hill needs 6 collectibles to craft, but let me tell you something. He's a hidden gem in this game. One of the top small forwards. And if you need a Sapphire player, he can hold you down. And because the theme players have higher power, he will even be good for your squad when you have Rubies. Look at his stats, right? He's pretty solid overall, right? 5 in shoot-off dribble, layups and dunks, mid-range shooting, agility, playmaking. Very well-rounded player. His lowest stat is a 4. Then we got Ray Allen. Now, this is cool. Players have a chance to get a Ray Allen now. Last season, Ray Allen had a pink diamond, and he also had a diamond card. So it's good to have a lower rarity for newer players. He's a great shooter. He will definitely hold down your squad with that. He's got a 5 in shoot-off dribble, 5 in mid-range, and 5 in 3-point shot. I would argue that he is one of those players that deserves a 6 in mid-range and 3-point shot. Still, the game only has Peja as that elite shooter, but we need to add a few more. Ray Allen, Damian Lillard, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson. Those are players that should get buffed. I would even argue Trae Young too. New to the game, Chris Webber. This was pretty sick. Now, I did see Chris Webber when I was scrolling through the collection. This is a nice addition. And looking at his stats, he's pretty solid. He's got a 5 layups, dunks, mid-range shooting, which is really good for C-Web. Agility, strength, rebounding, post scoring. It's going to be sick, right? Especially like later on in the game. When you're trying to get team loyalty and there aren't enough kings, we finally got another one. This is a good card to add. Appreciate that, 2K. And we got the big Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal. You know my thoughts on Shaq. His stats don't do him justice. One of the most dominant players ever, and is super dominant in his game as well. He's got all the strong stats that matter for a center. Just don't rely on Shaq to shoot. That's all. Then we got T-Mac. The best shooting guard in NBA 2K Mobile returns in Season 3. T-Mac is the GOAT when it comes to the stats for shooting guards. 4.5 overall stat average. He is elite. Right? Look at his stats. It's very solid. And I'm glad that they did bring him back. Now pair up Tracy McGrady with Yao Ming and you will get that bonus. And Tracy McGrady's craftable. So this is definitely a Ruby that you want to pay attention to. And we got Magic Johnson. So this is definitely proof that 2K listens to the videos, man. I've been asking for a lower rarity Magic Johnson for a long time, right? Because I want everybody to experience how good Magic Johnson is in this game. He is OP. His height, his playmaking ability, decent shooter. Like Magic Johnson can also dunk on anybody. He is a beast in head-to-head. My favorite point guard of Season 2. And to be able to use him again, I'm hyped. Then we got Isaiah Thomas, who was also a fan favorite as far as Season 2. Underrated point guard. Real good stats as well. He can be crafted for 27 collectibles, and he is one of the featured amethysts. Then we got Dirk Nowitzki, who is also an amethyst, one of the best power forwards in Season 2. Has a very interesting shooting mechanic, but once you master it, pretty unstoppable. And you can see his stats are very well-rounded as well. 5 in shoot-off dribble, 5 in mid-range, 5 in 3-point shot, and a 5 in post-scoring. Those are elite for a power forward. And finally, we have the truth. Paul Pierce is in the game. And I'm hyped because I've been wanting Paul Pierce in this game for a while, right? He's a legend. He's got a 5 in shoot-off dribble, 5 in mid-range, 5 in 3-point shot, a 4 in post-scoring. The rest of the stats are a little low. Look at his stats. I don't think he's going to come up on the higher-end small forwards. But he's pretty well-rounded overall. He has the shooting stats that matter the most. Now, honestly, looking at it, I think that his post-scoring could have been a 5, right? He was a really good post-scoring small forward. He was unstoppable when he would catch that shot in the low interior with a fadeaway. He was a beast. And finally, we got the GOAT Michael Jordan, who is the amethyst. Now, MJ got a stat buff. You can see his 3-point shot went up to a 4. So that helps out a lot because a lot of the gears and mentors can boost that up to a 6 easily. So this is a pretty good spot for Jordan to be in. And he's coming in with a 3,500 power, which is massive, right? It's going to really help out your squad. Overall, this is a solid theme. And historic greats, they definitely accomplished that. Compared to last historic greats theme, they got a lot of heavy hitters in this one. Last year was pretty solid too. We saw Penny Hardaway get added in there. We saw Sean Kemp. We saw Tim Hardaway. There was some Kevin Johnson. So there was some nice players added in that theme as well. Now, as far as the set, come on. That is what I'm talking about. So Paul Pierce is the set item reward. In order to get him, you need to get Dell of Strength, Hersey Hawkins. So those are very easy players to craft. Jeff Hornacek might be the tough one, right? You might have to get him from a pack when you're a higher tier player, because if you're 3,200 power or higher for the next event, you're going to start off with a Sapphire reward. So you could miss out on Jeff Hornacek. Grant Hill hopefully is a reward. Tracy McGrady is craftable. So that's going to be how you go about getting this Paul Pierce. But I'm hyped that at least is obtainable, right? Last theme, the set reward was Bill Walton, which you can see I did get it. And he was also an event reward too. So if they do that with Paul Pierce, that would be pretty sick. All right, so let me know in the comments who you're excited for, who you're going to try to grind for in this theme. I definitely appreciate all the support. Be sure to check out the videos on the playlist. We dropped something on the second channel yesterday. If you're into card collecting, then definitely want to check out that video. We also have tons of Season 3 content. We got the pack openings. We also have the tier list from Season 2 that are still applicable for Season 3. A lot of the players' ratings are still the same, so it can really help you out. And then we have some guides for newer players that will really get you on the right foot when pushing towards the Amethyst seasons. All right. So again, appreciate it. Take care.